Hey guys, Chris Patterson here, fantasy author, and today I am going to address something that's probably more specific to fantasy and sci-fi authors. But I mean, maybe anyone, but and that is especially for us, those of us that are fantasy authors, should I create a map for my world? And how intricate, how detailed should I be? And this is kind of an interesting question, I think. Number one, if you have a book that is set in our world, in reality, historical fiction with some fantasy components, urban fantasy like Harry Potter, stuff like that, I really don't think there is a need for a map. Okay. Um, Unless you have some sort of map making software. So what I did is I created a rudimentary map, had someone, an artist friend of mine, just as a favor, do a little bit better job of creating that map, and then I hired someone to come in and actually professionally do the map. Something that I can use in every single one of my books, my fantasy books at least. And they charged me about $500 for it, and I think it was money well spent for those authors out there. It's a tax write-off. There's a couple perks, but I think people really do want to see like a well drawn, well created map. Fantasy readers want to see that at the beginning of the book, so I think that's important. I don't think generally that you need to map out like like if you've ever read the Drizzt books, the Underdark and the Forgotten Realms, some of those have maps of like the Underdark and what that world looks like, and obviously there's a lot of resources there to make that happen. But I don't know. I mean, I think the R.A. Salvatore, the author that wrote those books, did a pretty good job of describing what that looked like. I didn't really need a map for that. So, I think you need to be careful with how far you extend yourself as an author. And map making is one of those areas where you can spend a lot of time doing something and creating something that, man, unless it's Middle Earth or Westeros or something like that, a lot of people aren't going to spend a lot of time looking at. So, I think you need to be, you just keep that in mind. How much money, how much time, how much effort, how many resources are you going to spend on creating a map? So, I mean, again, I would say if you're a fantasy author and you can get a map created that looks decent, it doesn't look like it's drawn on paper. You already have some software, or there's find someone on Fiverr or something like that that can do that for you. I think that's fine. I got to a point where I felt like it was justifiable to spend $500 on a really really good map. I'm getting ready to reach out to the same guy to make me another map of a new area in which my characters exist in my books. And again, I think I'm at a place where I can justify that kind of money. But if you're just starting out, man, I don't even know if it's necessary. You might get a couple people here and there that'll leave a review like, man, I could really use a map. But I mean, honestly, if someone's leaving you a bad review because you didn't have a map at the beginning of your book, they probably weren't going to like it anyway. So they're probably just trolling Amazon or any other site and just leaving bad reviews for authors that they see as a competition. So that's my 2 cents on should you or should you not create a map. It's really up to you. Fantasy, probably not a bad idea. Don't drop a ton of money at first on it. If you get bigger, if you start making a little bit of money, not a bad idea to get one professionally made, but just be careful about how much money you're spending. So I hope this is helpful. I hope you can use it. And if not, thanks for spending the last 4.5 minutes with me. So until next time, happy reading, happy writing, and peace.